Hi, everyone, and welcome to another episode of a Pretty Little Podcast. I'm Allie Violet Dixon, and I'm here with my beautiful podcaster in crime, our favorite vampire brat, Jessie.
Hello, guys. Welcome back.
Tonight, we are stoked to have Saint Diablo here with us. This groundbreaking metal band is shaking up the scene with their electrifying sound and intense performances. With a blend of powerful riffs, haunting melodies, and sick lyrics, Saint Diablo is redefining the metal genre, and we are here for it. Throw them horns in the air for Saint Diablo.
Welcome, guys.
What up? What up?
What up? Thank you guys for having us so much. Appreciate it.
Tito, Justin, how you doing tonight?
Doing chill, small, brown, and round. I'm in South Carolina now, so it's a little noogie, but I wouldn't have it any other way.
Yeah, I'm doing pretty good.
Fine, Tito.
Yeah,
What was that?
He's better than me. I got a ceiling fan behind me. So yeah.
You got that nice setup, like Paradise behind you.
Yeah.
A little bit. To be honest, I got the sound of summer going on too. So the locusts and the frogs get too loud. Yes, cicadas. That's what I'm looking for. If cicadas get too loud, let me know. I'll tell them to shut up.
So there's so much stuff that I want to talk to you guys about, but let's start with how the band kind of came together. What's your backstory?
Go ahead, Tito.
I'll just kind of jump in.
Well, I've known Justin since we was little. I mean, I think somewhere in the beginning somewhere at the end of middle school, heading into high school. And we started St. Diablo in high school. I mean, I was a theater, one of those little theater kids, and I needed a junk food version of drama and ¿Por qué Maria? ¿Por qué? That whole intensity. And I was able to get a good quick fix with it with metal. And at the time, I was kind of in like rap groups and things like that, and rock and metal hadn't really gone off and got married yet. So we thought we was doing something avant-garde, but nonetheless, we started in high school and we started getting serious once we were in college. And by the time we was in college, we was touring with Mushroom Head and a bunch of other cats, and we figured there was something to this. So we just kept going.
I just saw them this weekend at the Michigan Metal Fest. We had them on.
Awesome.
They're very cool. We've known those guys for a long time.
But Justin, let me know. Did I stroke too broadly? Was there should I have spent more time on the head or something, or what? Like, are we good?
No. Sort of it is. We've been doing this for a long time. He's right. We were kids and we started this thing. And then it was the whole, play the college party, play your friend's backyard, in the beginning. And it really didn't do anything until I'd say like 2002. And then we kind of like started to get out and play shows like more regionally. And then we did this one weird battle of bands we got into. And, we got invited to go open up for Busta Rhymes in New York City at the Hammerstein. And that was like a mind blowing experience. We got to hang out with like Russell Simmons and like all these cats like from a whole other world we never thought we'd ever have a chance to be in. And then after that we really were like, yeah, there's something here. We just have to keep doing it. And then like you said, it was tour with Mushroom Head, tour with Silent Civilian, which is Johnny Santos of Fine Shank, and then we got on some stuff with In This Moment, and then El Nino, and then Avatar. So it all just kind of like snowballed, and then but that's basically where it all started was many moons ago. So
I love the pipeline from theater kids to like rocker crew. Like it's so like that's incredible.
Yeah,
I respect that.
I was on the other path. I was the wannabe jock hiding behind, trying to be in sports when I really was trying to be a musician. And then it was just like, and then my parents were like, just do what you want. Like, what do you, because all my brothers were like super big in sports, and then I was like, I can do this, but I really want to do that. And then that's when I was like, I'm just gonna keep playing the guitar, I guess.
So you both were kind of already in the spotlight, doing stuff in front of people. So
Yeah.
you were never like afraid to be on stage or on the spot.
Right. Good.
I've always been more afraid not to have a stage, not to have a spot.
It was fun because you guys were actually the first band I ever saw play at Love Dress. And my friend and I walked in, and you guys bring an energy that is like no other. Like, let me just tell you, from that day on,
that's awesome. Thank you.
Made it on to at least, I would say, half of my friends' workout list. They all said they're like, "Big Diablo," like that's my workout song. Like
that's
awesome.
That
was before our release, our last EP. So if the songs before our EP were workout songs, then this EP songs are definitely workout songs.
Right.
Oh, it's. Do you guys follow like the different playlists that you're on?
Yeah. We keep.
Right. Go ahead.
I tend to talk with our label, and they keep telling me what playlists we're on, what playlists we fell off of, what playlists we're trying to get on. I honestly don't know about most of the lists until we get on them, but I definitely do check them out once in a while.
No, because like I know on Spotify, like you can see what lists you've been added to.
Right.
I know some of the bands like love to just like talk about some of the different lists that they're on, because I know every single person that I've like brought you guys up to, they listen, they're like, I love it, like this is so great.
That's awesome. We follow some of them. There's a lot of them out there. Some of them get thrown, in our face more than others when it comes to like, hey, check this out. I put you guys on this playlist, and we're just humbled that anybody would ever put us on that playlist. So, we're just super stoked to be on a playlist, let alone multiple.
So how was I have to talk about the gathering of the Juggalos. You guys
just everything.
How was?
Have you ever been to one? First off,
I've been to one.
Okay, so you kind of have an understanding of it's a circus meets strip club meets a metal show meets
swap meet,
rave meets it's all the stuff. Like it's
the dark carnival.
Oh, it's like when you thought you weren't like that couldn't happen, it just did, and then you're like, oh, okay. No, it was totally an experience. It was actually a bucket list of ours for many years. There was an opportunity like early 2000s for us to do it, and it didn't work out. But it's always been a thing that we've always wanted to do. We just, obviously you got to know somebody. You know what I mean? So, but no, it was amazing. I had a great time. So
I loved looking through all the pictures. You guys look like you just had a blast.
Oh, it was fun. And we, there was a lot of people there, and there was a lot of people that didn't care about anything, and that was also their clothes. So it was pretty cool. Yeah, it was very cool to see for sure. And ICP killed it. Like when we got to see them, it brought a lot of memories back from, rediscovering them. I guess is a better way to put it. So it was really cool.
I love that.
A couple of the other bands that really impressed you that you might not have known about before going?
I don't know about Tito, but I know that Ouija Mac was a big one. That was he's done some really cool stuff. Static X was there. I saw them many years ago, but they're it's like a whole new thing now with them. Like it's just if anyone hasn't seen the new Static X, I guess you would call it, then you probably should go see it because it's a completely different experience, I guess. And there's a band from our area who's on there called Dying Oath. They're crushing it right now. Yeah, And no, it was cool because there was so many stages and so many acts. It was really cool to see some people that I'd never even heard of. And it was mostly rap and hip hop, but there was some rock acts too. But it was just cool that everyone was hanging out and they didn't care what you did. It was just, whoop whoop. That's all it was. Whoop whoop. So it's all good.
Yeah, you definitely let your freak fly. Like when I went, I made sure to have like the brightest color wigs and just like.
Right.
Rakim was there too. Eric B. and Rakim. Rakim was there as well.
Oh, that must have been really a nice one.
That was cool.
So, as far as other venues on your bucket list, what are some other venues that you would like to play?
There's that Red Rock place that I've always wanted to play at in Colorado, I believe.
Red Rock's the one. Oddly enough, as long as we've been around, we've never played the Whiskey in LA. That's been on my list for many years.
And
we played two clubs down from it.
Yeah, I mean, I got to walk past it once. Oddly enough, another venue that's up the street from us is 930 Club in DC. We've never been able to play there. That's a bucket list one for us. And to be honest, it's we'll play anywhere anyone wants it. So, and I look forward to finding out what other venues that we haven't discovered yet. So.
Yeah. There's been a lot of iconic venues that we would get to go on when we do our national tours. So a lot of the ones that we never imagined playing, we would actually get to play through when we were doing like the higher end tours. So it's just a matter of trying to get back in there on our own morals and on our own ticket.
That's awesome. So as far as like, who are some bands that you would like to tour with in the future?
That's a long list.
Yeah, huge list. Yeah, I mean, I'm an old head, so I definitely would say somewhere along the lines of like the Cypress Hillses, the Deftones, the Soulflies.
Right.
Those are my top three.
Those are some of the biggest acts still today.
Yeah, right. I know. Not like those shooting the stars, Tito.
You say you're an old head, but these are bands that have like, I think that they're so like captivating that now people are still, there's new fans now, and now it's like amazing. So
right. Yeah. I mean, there's some bands that are not good. Yeah.
I definitely felt that you guys fit in like perfectly at the gathering. Because I mean, between the energy and I love the face paint and like the man and just everything. Like, did you bring it when you played there? Like, were you all completely done up?
Yeah, it's actually funny you say that because it's actually something new that we've been wanting to do, and we shot the video. I don't know if you guys saw the video for Dame Toto, our last single, but it was like this whole like bulletproof vest, skull masks and face paint and all that, and then we were like, we need to do it for this show, if any other show, at least this show, and we did it, and it was fun. It was awesome. It was hot, but it was fun. It was a good time. Sure, and everyone seemed to really dig it. So yeah, we came with it for sure. So it was very cool.
I mean, the way we
talk about that video a little bit more because that video is insane. Like, what went into that video? Like,
go ahead, Tito. You were gonna say something.
Well, in reference to what went into that video, I mean, it was really a collaborative effort. We knew that we wanted to like focus around Sugar Skulls and other types of like that Day of the Dead type vibe, but we wanted to approach the whole mask and makeup thing to be more on the lines of not like, oh great, another band doing masks and makeup. More along the lines of just like we can if we want to and we do when we want to, and then like we step in and out of it on our own terms. So you come to a show, you might catch a St. Diablo show mask. You might catch a St. Diablo show with makeup.
So it's not something to hide behind.
Absolutely not. Yeah, no, it's a cherry on top. It's depending on how we feel.
Right, and that's something that goes. That's something that goes with it. Is that as long as we've been making videos and creating music, Tito and I have always looked at it, and it's funny. He brought up the whole drama kid thing. We've always looked at music videos as like, okay, bands just get in front of a camera and they just play their song. And it's like, no, you have an opportunity to bring that all those metaphors and those ideas and to force your creativity in your mind from what you want to see it as. Like we see it a certain way, but you might see it a completely different way visually. You know what I mean? Like you hear the song and you read the lyrics, but when a band does something that's completely left field or exactly what you thought they were going to do when it comes to like the visual aspects of what the music and the song is, we just feel that there's sometimes that bands leave a lot on the table when it comes to not giving their song enough justice. Yeah, it's awesome to jam out in front of the camera and you got your boys there and you all look a certain way, but we feel that if you're not bringing another message with that media, then you're kind of shooting yourself in the foot a little bit. So we like right. We like to kind of expand it as much as we can. And yeah, we hear it in the comments. It's like, oh, another band with masks. But like what Tito just said, we don't have to do that. We just want to do that because we feel that particular song at that particular time needed a particular look. So it's not something we're trying to be somebody else or want to be this or want to be that. It's going to be.
I was very impressed, and believe it or not, like I had to watch it a couple times to like actually like see. Some of them are so good that I'm not sure if it was makeup or a mix. Like I had to keep going back and like.
It was mostly masks, but Tito was in makeup, and then our actor that was in there was in makeup, and then we had another stand-in that was in makeup. So most of the band was in masks, but Tito was in a mask and makeup at the same time. So depending on what scene it was. So.
It's so cool. I mean, like it really is a fun video.
Wait till
you see the next one.
And when's that one coming?
Probably in 2 weeks, maybe. It's called Cosmic Inferno. It's from our newest EP. It's the last single off that EP. So yeah, we're super excited about it for sure.
That's awesome.
That one plays more off the vibe of like that movie Dusk Till Dawn kind of cinematography to it. It's got that dirty creepy club in the middle of nowhere high vibe to it. The club itself is supposed to stand for like the state of purgatory. We're all kind of waiting for our judgment, and while we're waiting, play a song. That's pretty much the video.
That's awesome. That's a really great song because I got to like when I was picking the songs for like the promos for my story. That was one of them that caught my eye. I used it a couple of times.
That's awesome.
I'd like to think that all of the ones on this EP have like their own little eye-catching mechanism to where it's like it's really hard to pick a favorite. Like they all have like their own little unique thing to it, and that's really one of the reasons why that we're really happy to be working with the producer that we have now, Chris Anger, out of Florida. He's just I mean every producer that we've been with since 2012 has been a growing next step up type scenario, but with Chris we were able to really modernize our sound, and we're just really he gave each one of the songs like it's such a cliche, but he gave each one of the songs their own unique voice to the point where we were all right. So which one we making a video for? We were all like, all of them.
Right.
I love the fact that your songs, really, none of them sound alike. I mean, they really are totally different. And I love that aspect of it.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
we like to. That's awesome that you see it that way or hear it that way, because that's kind of the way we want. You know, we don't want everything to be the same, but there are enough elements where you could you daisy chain one to the next. You know, Tito is obviously, his vocal style is him. You know, he doesn't do anything that's like too crazy different from the other one, as opposed to like changing up like bilingual versus English. But his style is his style. You know, my guitar playing is my guitar playing. But yeah, we try and keep it to where we don't repeat a lot of things. Of course, there's things that you have to repeat to stay within your, to engage your fans, to be able to be like, yes, this is our style, this is what we sound like. But yeah, that's cool that you see it that way, because that's kind of like the hidden agenda really behind it. So.
Yeah, I mean, with each song, like, I try to like, and with all songs, I try to like think like, who does this kind of like remind me of?
Right.
And with your songs, it's new. Like, each song is new. It's its own entity. It's great.
Thank you.
So, as far as music that you listened to growing up, who's someone that would surprise fans to hear that you listened to?
Like currently, or stuff that I grew up listening to?
It could be either, actually.
I'll let Tito go first on this one.
I grew up listening to a lot of Spanish music, and a lot of merengue, salsa. When reggaeton was in its infancy, I was listening to its different bastardized versions of mixing the island reggae songs with like some of the hip hop culture stuff going on in the mainland. So like I listened to a wide variety of stuff from reggaeton to pop. So like to answer your question of someone like I listened to a lot of Gloria Estefan when I was little, and I still warm up vocals to The Rhythm Is Gonna Get You, and I listened to a lot. Yeah. In college, I was really sickly, deeply, depressively into like Portishead. So like it's like a wide variety. I mean,
Have you ever
Cypress Hill.
warm up?
What was that?
Have you ever posted your warm up?
Actually, no, I haven't. But now that you mentioned it, like with the age of social, all the social sites and everything, I really should have. I should have.
Right. I feel like that would be a phenomenal TikTok. Like, I would love to see it.
That would be cool.
Anyone has gone to a show will catch will in the very they'll be like, is that Gloria? You'll hear me behind stage or next to stage bumping out like The Rhythm Is Gonna Get You and oil. Definitely.
Oh, I love it. I can't wait when I get to be live. I'm just waiting for it. So as far I did. Oh, actually, let me Justin. Go ahead. You answer because I want to hear.
I mean, if it comes to anything when it's just like fans were surprised to hear what I would listen to maybe back in the day or currently is I have a thing about female vocalists. Whether it's metal or pop or country or rap or reggaeton or anything. Like I was big on Poe, like back in like the mid '90s and like late '90s, and like yep. And then Fiona Apple, I was big on Fiona Apple. Her voice is so freaking awesome.
That was about.
Yeah. So yeah, like female vocalists. I'm always been like kind of like I always like listening to like a buddy of ours. He plays for like a rhythm and blues R&B band, and he's got like this like sultry, like beautiful, buttery vocalist that she does like all this like mixed with gospel and stuff like that, and it's just like how can you not like to listen to that stuff? You know what I mean? I don't know. It's just, for me, it's always been that kind of like, but then you flip it on like metal where you hear a voice that's screaming into a microphone and you're like, there's no way that's a chick. There's no way that's a girl. That's a dude. And then when someone's like, no, it's real. It's a woman. You're like, that is so cool. That's awesome. So to see that kind of like one side to the other, for me, it's always like, I mean, guys just have their one, like, I'm going to rock this and that. This is my voice. But I don't know. I just feel the female voice can just have so many different levels to it that I'm always like searching and looking for the next one. So that's what I would say is surprising for what I used to do, or what I used to listen to, whatever. So.
Now, I forgot to ask this when we were talking about your music video, but you did mention that you have the new video. And is there anything that fans can anticipate, like Easter eggs or anything that fans can look for when the video drops?
It's interesting you say that because this video has like a different, we took a different approach on this new one, where we wanted it to have like a storyboard / comic book like panels, you know what I mean? Like so when the screen pops up, you'll see different things in different areas on the screen, you know what I mean? Like there'll be one image here and another image there and then all over. So it's funny you say Easter egg, but there's some really cool things in there that you'll have to watch the video like 10 times to see it. So it's interesting you said that because we did that on purpose like that too. So there's some really cool things that each one of us did individually that we really didn't tell the other person that we were doing it. So when Tito shot his scenes, like he did something that we didn't talk about, which is cool, but it wasn't like anything crazy, but just like a visual thing that you didn't pick up on or you weren't paying attention to until you saw like the pre-production of it. So, and it was just, that's cool that you said that because that's exactly the mindset that we had on it. So,
now, whose idea was it? The comic idea. Whose idea was it?
I think it was mine, I think. And because when I start a treatment for a video, I start with one idea, but then I'll see something or I get inspired by something else,
Now, were you a comic? Like, did you read comics or look at comics?
Oh, 100%. Graphic novels, comics. I mean, I'm big into all that stuff. So, and I wanted it to be, like I said earlier, I wanted it to be different than what we've done before, and I wanted it to be different than what you normally would see. You know what I mean? So, and the director that we got for it, Brendan, he was already kind of experimenting with that stuff with some other projects that he was working on. So he was like, let's totally do it and let's just do it big. So I think it came out really good. So.
Oh, that's awesome. I'm so excited. And when did you say that's?
I think it's in 2 weeks maybe. Tito would probably have more information on that, but I think it's 2 weeks. We haven't got the second draft for it back yet. We should get that by tomorrow. But then after that, we send it to the label. So and they'll drop it soon.
Oh, that's so fun.
Right.
So, what would you say has been your most memorable performance out of all the performances that you've done?
Go ahead, Tito.
Not. Well, I mean, it'd be more along the lines of. I think of it more of I think more in tours versus specific shows. So, like for me, I mean, I guess a lot of the In This Moment shows were I mean, just the scale of them, the scale of them, the production, I think that whole tour had there wasn't really a show that wasn't magical in its own way. I guess the best way to describe it, but the shows were almost all the shows in that tour was magical. That tour was magical when it comes to like playing with that tier band, playing in those tier venues, playing in that great time of the year, and you had a product that you had just released with all these things that were just like boom, 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 and we had backers, and everything was great, you know. So it was like that. It was more along the lines of that tour was really the tour that stands out. So any show in that run. I mean, I think the first show in El Paso, maybe, you know, when I flew out to El Paso and met the guys, they had to drive across the country to get there, and I had to fly there and meet them. So maybe the first night, I guess, stands out because I couldn't have anything to compare it to that night. So that night really kind of stood out, maybe. But everything after that, it was all just masterful. The whole tour was just
totally. I totally agree with that. That was a great tour. We every night was crazy. We had to have merch then that like shipped in like every other day.
yeah.
And it's funny when you have, I don't know if you're aware of this, but when you have merch shipped into like, you know, on tour, you know, not everything, the clubs aren't really open at like 7, 8 o'clock in the morning when like UPS or someone drops stuff off. So you're either looking for like a strip club or like a 24-hour diner where you can have your merch dropped off, where you can go pick it up. So it was always interesting where we were, you know, we were like looking for like Waffle House, we're like, hey, can we call ahead and be like, hey, we're gonna have a package delivered here so we can pick it up in the morning. It was always interesting. So yeah, that tour was very memorable. Sure.
Speaking of that, how was merch at the gathering?
It was weird because the merch wasn't where we thought it was going to be. Like we thought it was going to be near the stage, and it wasn't. It was like way off in the distance, and
Okay.
it was a little confusing. We finally
definitely
got it set up
impacted
there.
sales.
What's that?
Yeah, the distance definitely impacted sales. I mean, we had to look for it ourselves. We're like, where is it?
Right. I mean, when we didn't know where it was hard for the fans to know where it was. But I mean, we did cool. It wasn't, you know, it was crazy kind of time to set up. You know, it was, you know, you were playing in the middle of a field. You know, so it was interesting trying to get things where it needed to be. But it could have been better. But you know, it was pretty good.
Oh, that's fun because you guys have a lot of really fun merch. Like I was looking through and that, I mean, that setup. I mean, it's fun.
Because I like windbreakers. Windbreakers are cool. I don't see a lot of bands that have windbreakers. I think that's pretty cool.
Definitely. I love the bands that break out and do something different. Like, I'm the first one that's like in line, like buying that odd item that everybody else is like, you can get the t-shirt. I'm like, nah.
Right. 100%.
That's awesome. Like, do you have any plans for any additions to your merch store coming up?
Yeah, we usually do like a little small run right before the holidays. So like, you know, anyone listening or whatever, usually like right near Thanksgiving, we'll do like a cool little thing. It'll add something pretty snazzy. Like we had these wristbands on there, like have our logo and stuff on them. So those were up there for a while and those went quick. But you know, you never know what it might be. It might be a beanie or you know something just out of the norm. Like we did these really what are they, the cinch bags or whatever. We did those for a while. Those were pretty cool. So you never know. So like right near the holidays, we'll probably do something cool where you can get like a discount.
So can you tell us what your favorite song right now is to perform?
Sure.
So, well, out of the new songs that we're doing, I really enjoy the Voice on the Phone. It's the meaning behind it, the whole where my brain goes when it comes to like what the song means and what it's for, what it's about. I still there are still parts of the song that still give me goosebumps. So like for me it's that one. Right
I
now,
would agree.
that one.
Yeah, I would agree. It's very fun to play live. It just hits, you know, that chorus when it comes in. It's just like it pops, and to be able to play that with everybody on stage, it's just super fun. Don't get me wrong, the other ones are fun too, but that one just has. It's weird because when you record them, you're like, man, this is my favorite one to listen to, but then when you play them, you're like, oh, okay, well, maybe this one's my one that I like the most when we play it. You know what I mean? So it's definitely, I would say Voice on the Phone is probably my favorite.
Awesome. Now, would you say, like, if you had to give a suggestion to someone that's here, like, that's going on Spotify and can pick one song to listen to of yours, what would you say is that one song that they should listen to first?
I would say that one, but I would say Voice on the Phone. I think Voice on the Phone is the gateway song for the EP. Yeah. I think that's why we released it first. It has like all the elements. It's got the Spanish. It's got the big chorus. It's got the heavy riffs. And it's got some really cool, right. It's got some cool fun stuff in there too that you wouldn't expect. And I would say that would be the one for anybody to go listen. But the crazy thing is, I say that, but Dame is like way further down the road. But maybe you want someone to experience that one more or first.
Yeah, it just depends on the person that you got in front of you. Because if you got a multicultural person who's like, is familiar with metal but isn't like a metalhead, then we would like gear you to Dame Todo, and you definitely wouldn't walk away like, oh, that was too crazy, because it's right. It feels.
I gotta at least try to say it because I practice. Dame Todo.
There you go.
You got it. Good job.
And then if you got like a diehard metalhead who's like they like those Puritan type cats that like to just like to keep it ugly and keep it nasty and hard, well then, Cosmic Infernos, you got that one there for you, and that one's like balls to the wall, like 90% of the time, with a little bit of beauty right there somewhere in the bridge, but otherwise it's like strangle a motherfucker the whole way through.
Right.
How do you guys go about your writing process and like collabing with the other band members?
Usually starts with a riff, and then we usually take that riff into the room with our drummer Anthony. And the funny thing is, we'll try and get it further down the road, but we wanted to show it to Tito until it's like 70-80% done. And that because it's hard for him to get onto something and then have to pull away from it. We're not diving on a particular part, so we usually won't show it to Tito until we got like enough to be like, okay, this is something here. You know what I mean? But then he puts his vocals on it, and then we'll kind of send it through the blender. Oh, you guys got your fucking like that here somewhere. So
yeah, we're definitely having
And then but then it gets sent to Tito, and then after that it gets put back in a blender, right? And then it gets spit out, and then it gets to put in pre-production, and then from there on it really kind of comes into its own. So it really just starts with a riff or a beat, but
I love that.
Right. So that's generally how it works. But you've written other songs in different ways, but usually 9 times out of 10 it starts with that. So.
Now, when you go into the recording studio, do you go in there like down for business, like exactly what you have going in there, or do you guys kind of play with it once you're in the studio?
Oh, it's definitely played with in the studio. It's we have an idea of what we want it to be, and then when we get with our producer, and then we all actually sit down and get to hear it coming at us from the speakers, instead of playing it to record it or whatever, and you get to hear all as a collective. It gets put back through the blender, through the processor. So, we might chop off a chorus, or we might chop off a whole section and be like, this isn't working here. Let's do this other idea. So we work really close with Chris Anger, our producer. He has a vision for what he thinks certain things should sound like, and we are totally open for that collaboration. When it comes to songwriting, we're not afraid of it. We love it. We jump right into it. And but yeah, that's usually how it works for us.
Now, what's one song that started as one thing and then absolutely got twisted and morphed into a final product that was completely different that you guys love?
Cosmic would be the one for me.
Cosmic? Yeah, Cosmic? Yeah.
Cosmic when I when I first heard like after what we'd done to it, I was like, I don't even know what I'm listening to. Like, it was because when you write the riff and you put them together, and then it gets put through the meat grinder, and and everyone has to say, like, well, not everyone, like our percussion player and our bass player is fairly new. He's not in this whole process yet. So, but when it comes to like everyone being like, yeah, this sounds cool, but then you're like, wait a minute, let's do something here. So it's never really done until we're all kind of like thumbs up on it. You know what I mean? So, but I would say Cosmic was the one that's like completely different after we first started writing it. But yeah, that would be it for me.
The part of the process that we may not be articulating on our parts is like, because we'll imagine it a certain way or create it a certain way, and when we take it to our producer, it's in a sense a reimagination of things. So we may not even, there are times when we may not recognize the song that we're listening to, literally like recognize it as what we turned in. Because it was like, not that it was like completely like trashed and made new, but it's like we'll take parts out, rearrange things, put them in a different order that you just never would have imagined them in that order. So to you, it's like, I don't even know what this, how is this the other song? But like, but that whole reimagining of the song through the song is what is different for us now. Because in our earlier albums, we would imagine a song, and the only thing that would change is how we got from the beginning, like how to present that idea. We could tweak that idea a little bit. Versus now, we're like writing a song, completely reimagining it, and then reimagining it again, and then going to studio.
Right. So it's a lot. It's a lot that goes into it now, because one thing that when Tito and I, we had we want things to be, and it's like you said, we want things to be as up to speed. We want things to be modern sounding. But we do add that you can't escape your roots. You know what I mean? We grew up with groove metal and and rap and rock and hair metal even, and there's elements of all that in what we do. And then Tito, right. And then we mixed in, we even added, we wanted it to be more reggaeton, because we didn't feel we were capturing enough of that in anything we were doing in the past. So our producer was like, let's do this, let's do that. So he was just throwing stuff at us that we normally were like, okay, we don't know, we don't understand this, but you show us what you mean. And then he was like, well, let's do this. And then we start to see the light on how it all works. And then that's pretty much how it all came together. So
for the future, are there any new instruments or elements that you're looking to add to any of your songs or experiment with?
I would even say that we might dip even further into a reggaeton world, and it's and that alone is more like, so not to say that we get rid of guitars, but I think you might see a Saint Diablo in the future where it's just maybe more Latin percussion when it comes to like a feeling, and more of a jammy kind of a feel, when it comes to that. But maybe also even like just the idea of having more vocal harmony and stuff like that. So, but we're always down to experiment with whatever. Like if something comes across the table, we're like, man, that's really cool. Let's see what we can do there. So
yeah, we have we have a style to us, but part of our style is that we also have pocket full of wild cards. So it's like that pocket full of wild card makes it to where it's like, the moment that you think you got it figured out, then we just do a different type of thing. And it's it's been good for us and bad for us. I mean, because if you're a label trying to sell that, then we're just like, narrow it down. But if you're trying to stand out,
I expect it from you guys. Like I expect that every song is gonna be a different kind of fire. Like I love it.
And that's what we want. We were, I would say, not on our last record, but the record before, we always found that the songs were starting to sound the same. You know what I mean? We were we were writing them in super close proximity. Where when you write one song, you haven't really left the aura of that song behind to move to the next song. So that second song has bits from the first song. You know what I mean? And then when you write 10 of them in a row, they all kind of like have that same tempo, or the tempos are very similar, or the beats are very similar, or that chunky guitar part's similar. So we felt that we needed to change things up and just experiment more. Like we've been a band that's had a lot of turnover when it comes to lineup changes, and it's always been hard to kind of like pick up on something that we can call our own. So with this new EP, we were just adamant about it being just different, and we wanted it to sound a certain way, but we didn't necessarily know what that way was yet. So we had to kind of open new doors and be like, yes, this sounds cool, let's do that. You know what I mean? So a lot of stuff had to get laid out on the table and really analyzed. So and that's what we did.
Great. So can you tell us fun stories from touring? Because you guys seem like you would be so much fun. And I know all the bands that know you, they just adore you. I know that Nailbite speaks so highly of you guys. I mean,
they're awesome.
We love those guys.
You guys must have fun touring and going to these shows and just being around the people. Like, how do you have any like standout moments that from the road?
We have lots of stories.
That's always a good sign.
Some are good, some are not so good. If you're a band and you tour and you're out there doing it, the unfortunate aspect of it is that you accumulate stories whether you want to or not. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, I'll let Tito say if he's got one in mind. I have a couple. Like I said, some are not the greatest, some are really cool. But I mean, Tito.
I want to know which one you were smiling over.
Well, I know that. I mean, a lot of it is just being able to survive and making sure that the things that broke your heart on tour, that's something you can smile about later. I mean, like one of the standout stories that I can laugh about now that I thought the world was going to end when it was happening was like we're on tour somewhere in the Carolinas, and the wheels of the bus fall off. I mean, like one of the wheels goes forward and jumps oncoming traffic, hits a medium, and hits the car coming on. Another wheel pops off and hits the car behind us, roll over it. We got sparks flying from underneath the thing, and luckily it didn't roll over on us. But like when you're going through those things, like the support that you get from fans and people that come out to help you. We've broken down so many times that
that was wild. What was going through your mind as the tires are like coming off?
Oh, I was thinking to myself, I sure as hell hope nobody like looks at. I thought we're done. I was like, did I clear my browser? Who's gonna inherit all of my Pokemon cards? That's what I was.
I was peeing in a Gatorade bottle when it happened, so it was one of those. It was frightening. It was scary. I wouldn't say any of it was fun on that aspect. But don't get us wrong. We had tons of fun stories. I mean, being out with Mushroom Head was always
yeah.
It was a prank every night. Like there was nothing that whether it was you were getting antique as soon as you walked outside the venue. You know what I mean? Like a bag of flowers.
What was the best prank pulled on you?
Oh man, the crickets. So we went out with Silent Civilian one time, and I guess one of their members went to the pet store and they bought like 150 feeder crickets. And I guess we left the window open in the van, and they dumped them all in there, and they closed the window. So we're cruising down the road after the show at like 4 a.m, and crickets jumping all over the making all this noise. That was probably the worst one done on. That was pretty bad because there's some night on that run you're not necessarily staying in hotel rooms every night. You pull up to a rest stop and you're sleeping in the van and you had crickets jumping all over you. It was pretty.
How long did it take
unnerving.
you to realize that they had done that?
It was pretty unnerving. It was. I mean, we got them back a little bit, but that was a pretty good one. So we kind of did the same thing. We took honey and we took bird seed. So we put honey on their windshield and bird seed and dumped the bird seed on the honey. So after like them coming out of the hotel room one night, they had like so much bird poop on their RV that you had to like take it to a. It was pretty crazy. Yeah, it was so much. It was so much you had to scrape it off with something before you could even take it to the problem. That was pretty cool.
When it comes to other standout, shows or tours, I mean, like, just the runs that we did with El Nino was also, landmark staple type thing for us. Being the type of, Latin metal band that we, describe ourselves as, there was no other band that we looked up to more in that particular genre, to have come up listening to them and then been able to like tour with them and then later be able to like venture into studio with them and then later on our EP is through the same production people. Like it's just all of it just aligned and no one could have planned it. To know that it all started with just the admiration and the fandom of digging El Nino and going to shows and then to know that like some of the best work we've ever done has, been going through and around the experiences of with them, just to know that in the people that we looked up to have a bearing on what we're doing nowadays. It's like it's sometimes you gotta like pinch yourself because in the midst of every day, in the midst of like going to work and shoplifting at Walmart and like stealing other people's mail and stuff, you forget. You forget how far you've come.
Yeah, it is definitely one thing to and it goes with everything. Like I remember the first time. I mean, Tito and I came up together, kids, and one of the bands we listened to all the time was Head PE, and we loved them. Like their music was just we jammed to it all the time. It was always in the vehicle, and I remember the first time we got a chance to play with them, and we saw Jared on stage with this bigger than life person, like this personality, and to be able to see that, and then as opposed to just hearing it on a song, but interact with him, it was just one of those things where, like you said, you got to pinch yourself when you grow up listening to something, and then when you get to be around that person, and then again, it's not just him, but with like in this moment, we went out with them, like Chris and Maria are such amazing people, and then El Nino and having them be a part of some of the things that we've been able to do. You wake up and you're like, man, is this really freaking happening? Like, what the hell? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I was just some kid jamming on some riffs in my bedroom, and then now it's kind of like it's been a long road, trust me, but it doesn't mean that I don't take any of it for granted ever.
That's awesome. Now, as far as with your fans, what is a standout fan reaction or fan encounter that you guys have had with one of your fans?
Spit in my mouth. we were playing one time in South Carolina in a place called Ground Zero in Spartanburg, and there was these very, very unique, classy young ladies who were pulling at us while we were playing, and they were all like, "Spit in our mouths! Just spit in our mouths, please, spit in our mouths."
So to give a little bit of a backstory on that, so I used to take like a during one of our particular songs, I'd put like a water on my mouth, and then when the beat came in or when the groove dropped for the breakdown, I would kind of like shoot it up in the sky like a wrestler, like kind of like Triple H would do back in the day, you know what I mean? And then
Sure,
I guess
let's
these
have
girls
radio.
saw and I guess they saw us do that a few times, and then I don't know if they had a crush on like me or one of us, and then I got off stage and we're at the merch table.
They're telling you to spit in the mouth.
Well, they wanted me to do that to their face, and I was like, I feel so violated.
Did you
Yeah, there's been some unique things, man. We had a person that really dug us one night at a show, and they followed us for about 4 days, and it was kind of creepy because they were like, we'd go to a Walmart, to pick up supplies after a show or something, and you'd see this person, and you're like, oh, that's weird. He looks familiar, and then you go, and then you jump it back in the van and go like 100, 50, 200 miles away and stop at a rest stop, and you get out to go use the restroom, and you're like, you're eating at a Waffle House one time, and then they got us to go to the bathroom. And we all we paid for a cab, but then we all just ran out and got in the van and took off, so they didn't know what direction we went in. It's one of those where you're like, what do you do? What if we don't know what to do? Like, so yeah, we've seen some weird stuff. But with fans, you kind of have to accept, there's some stories out there. That is the one thing with being out there. You get to hear some really unique stories from some really cool people, and then you also get to hear some really crazy stories. We ran into this guy, and he's like, you guys gotta come stay at my house. I got all this space. You guys don't have a hotel room. You can come hang out with me. And we get there, and he's telling us how great his wife is, and his wife is awesome, and she's like getting like her masters and all this stuff, and then we get to the house, and then we're hanging out, and out of nowhere she like pulls one up at the side, and she's like, hey, I don't have the heart to tell him that I'm having to get my master's for the past 6 weeks. And we're like, why are you telling us this? What do you mean? And then he hears it, and he almost destroys his whole house with us in it. And then we're like, no, we got to go. Sorry, we didn't meet you. We don't know you. We got to get out of here. So it's just crazy. It's just a bunch of.
Did you ever check on them?
Yes, they got a divorce. And he came up from North Carolina to live. No, he came from Florida to live with his girlfriend in North Carolina, and then they got married, and then they had a kid, and then she was going to school, and then I guess she flunked out or something, and she didn't have the heart to tell him, but the whole time she's telling him like she's going to class, like this and that, and then I guess it all
came down. For that guy. He has you guys come, like staying at his house. He feels like on top of the world. And then he finds out all that. Poor guy.
Yeah, it was bad. We were like, we gotta go. But yeah, he hit us up like a year later and said, yeah, it didn't work out and da-da-da. But yeah, that was a scary one because he was having a good time that night. He was on some things. He was having a good time, and I guess when he heard that, he lost it. So just to put it mildly. So yeah. So you see some stuff, you hear some stuff.
So how quick would you stay at a random fan's house after that?
We'd still do it. we don't learn from any of that stuff. If someone's like, hey, we got a place to scratch, it's free, and it's clean, that's kind of one of our things. Like we've recently actually left the hotel, paid for it, went there and realized after like 2 hours we couldn't stay there because it was disgustingly dirty. There wasn't even a shower curtain. There were no towels. It was just, we didn't even want our money back. It was
definitely not the rock star treatment.
Right. We were like, we gotta go. We just can't do it. So yeah. But yeah, there's some stuff out there for sure.
So I've been doing some stuff with American Mosh Pit, some collabs. What is the wildest mosh pit that has broke out while you guys are on stage?
Oh man, I tell you what, I remember this one particular night we were playing in Manhattan, Kansas, which is the home of Kansas State University, and we were playing St. Patty's Day week, is what they called it. It wasn't day or weekend; it was the whole week. And we rolled into town, and we were playing like this So they shut the whole town down. Like you can't even drive in. We had to drive our gear in, dump it, and then take the vehicle out of the city limits, and then we had to like get a ride back in. And the whole town is shut down. It's just one big huge block party. It's multiple blocks. You know what I mean? So, and we get to the venue and the guy's like, yeah, we got your stuff all set up. You guys just hang out. You guys got free drinks and food all day, all night. And we were just like, that's not a good idea. We don't. So, but anyway, party town. Everyone's partying. Everyone's having a good time. And when we get on stage, the place is like, there's so many people in there. They couldn't, and the security was like non-existent. Like there were people like this far away from us playing. Like they were up in our face, which was cool. It was crazy. As soon as we go into the first song, it goes crazy. Like there was a guy in a wheelchair that was getting pushed up to the front, and then at one point, this guy, I don't even know how he got in there or how he was there. He was in the pit. We just see this pair of crutches go straight up in the air in the pit, and like it's like getting circled around. And this dude makes his way. He had a limp. He had a brace on his leg or something, and he makes his way all the way up to the front where Tito is, and he takes the mic out of Tito's hand, and he's like screaming into it, and then he jumps back in the crowd. That was probably one of the craziest ones. That one was pretty nuts. And it even got to a point where we had to like stop a song or two just to calm everybody down because everyone had been like drinking all day. It was pretty nutty. That was a pretty cool night, but it was sometimes you're like, do we just keep playing and just let them destroy themselves? I mean, whatever, it's fine. That was a good one.
Tito, would you say that was the wildest mosh pit you've seen?
Well,
I don't know if he remembers that one, but
a couple of the Mayhem Fest shows that we did have some wild mosh pits as well.
Yeah, Mayhem Fest ones, those were cool. Like those were like multiple mosh pits. There'd be like 6 or 7 of them out there. And I remember when one of the ones we played in Virginia, it hadn't rained in like weeks, and we were playing in like the gravel parking lot. So when the mosh pit goes, it's like this dust bowl, and it picks up all the dust, and it was pretty cool. Those were some of the coolest ones too, for sure.
Oh, that's awesome. So we're getting close to time, so
okay.
I'm going to kind of jump into some of your upcoming shows that you have coming up within the next couple months. And we're getting close to spooky season. I know you guys probably have fun stuff coming up.
We do. So we have, we play Zen West in Baltimore on October 12th. Pretty cool venue. It will actually be our first time there, but we hear from some of our friends that, and other bands that it's a really cool place. And then we will be the plan is to be in Charlotte on the 26th of October. And then what else do we have? And we play a couple of holiday parties in December, in Virginia and Delaware and Maryland. So like the 7th, the 12th, and the 21st, I think we have shows in the DC, Virginia, Maryland, Delaware area. So, keeping it pretty close towards the end of the year. We don't really venture out too much unless, something kind of pops off, but, getting towards the holidays, we really kind of just
fans harass Nick Myers that you have to come back up to Love Drafts.
Right. Tell them, people, like, send him an email. Like, he knows who we are. Nick knows. I mean, I hope Nick's watching now. He knows to bring us back. We should be back there, hopefully soon. And, yeah, if anyone's watching this, send old Nick an email and let him know. We're ready to go.
We'll flood his page. So I want all of our listeners to go and check out Say Diablo. Your music's on Spotify, Apple Music. Where else can we find it?
Pandora. It's on pretty much everywhere you listen to music. It's on YouTube Music. It's basically wherever you enjoy your music. It's on Amazon Music as well. So wherever you particularly like to listen to your music, it's there generally. SaintDiablo.com though. If you just It's very easy. It's ourname.com is where you can get links to all of our social media stuff. There's actually a playlist on our actual website from Spotify that has our new stuff on it that you can actually go and listen to and add it to your playlist if you want to. All of our videos are on our website, which are just direct links to YouTube and everything else. So, yep.
And viewers, do yourself a favor and go watch the video Dame Tudo on YouTube. It's phenomenal, and you're welcome. Thank you guys so much for taking the time to come on. It was so great talking to you.
No, thank you so much. Thank you so much for inviting us and for giving us your time to share our music with your audience. We can't thank you enough. We take no one and nothing for granted. Thank you.
Right. And you have a great podcast too, by the way. I went back and watched a bunch of episodes, so it's very cool stuff. Very cool stuff.
Oh, thank you. Well, now you're part of the family. And again, thank you so much. And any new stuff that you have coming out, make sure to send our way, and we will get on all of our pages.
It's funny you just mentioned it because I just got a text from our director for the Cosmic video. He just sent me the version 2. So we'll watch it and then it'll get sent off. So the Cosmic Inferno video should be out very soon. So
check out the lyric video that's already came out. It just came out 3 weeks ago.
Right.
That's so exciting. Well, go on and make sure that you follow them and watch all these great videos as they drop. You won't be disappointed. Again, thanks guys, and we will talk to you.
Awesome.
Keep metal evil.
Thanks everyone for joining us tonight. St. Diablo, they're the best. Go on, like all their stuff, follow them on all social media, like all their stuff on Spotify. Until next week. Bye guys.